What is up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully, you have been doing great. Today, we're diving into the New World Aeternum new user experience, which takes a look at the character creation process that got implemented with the launch of New World Aeternum last year, and what this looks like for those of you who might be coming into the game as new players. Because even though it does suggest archetypes, and these do give you sort of an intro into how a class in the game might work, there are actually no classes in this game, and you can in fact choose any ability that you want once you get into the game. But I do want to walk new players through this early new player experience so that you can understand what you're going to be jumping into and help get your feet underneath you as you enter the world of New World Aeternum in 2025. So without further ado, after the cutscene that you go through in the early stages of the game, which walks you through the early story aspect, I've skipped that for spoiler purposes. You're going to reach this screen right here, which is the archetype screen. And if you take a look at this, it'll let you know that the archetype dictates your first items and abilities you'll discover on the island, but you will then be free to master any weapon and wear any armor you wish. What is important to understand about these archetypes is that each one of these, above and beyond just giving you some initial skills, they all come with a very unique visual look. And this cosmetic armor, this armor that you're going to be wearing, it starts off as stat armor, but as you get into the game, you will find stuff that is better very quickly. But you can go ahead and hold on to this stuff for later on if you want to use it as cosmetic gear for your character. So, one of the things you might be looking at when you're creating your character for the first time is, ooh, I actually really like the look of this particular armor set, and I want to have that for my character, even if you maybe plan on doing something a little bit different with your character down the road. So, each one of these will give you a description that you can go through to figure out what you want to take. It'll tell you soldier, it's a tank damage, the destroyer is a damage tank, ranger is pure damage, musketeer is damage, so on and so forth. You're also going to notice down here that it gives you a combination of 3 different trade skills. This gives you a boost to specific trade skills at the start of the game, but you can, of course, choose to go into any of the trade skills. You could do all of the trade skills if you want, just as with the archetypes, you will start with, a couple of weapons, but you will eventually be able to master many of all of the weapons in the game if you want to. So go through here and choose at your leisure. I think for the purpose of this tutorial, since we're showing off the new user experience here, that's life and death. We'll do occultist because this is fire and ice essentially. So we'll go ahead and hit the continue button. You'll then go through the appearance. You get to choose whether or not you want a male or female character. Choose your face. Randomize things if you want. I'm going to choose a different hairstyle, I think, for my old man. Um, mm, mm, I'm not sure what I want. We want to give him like a mohawk. I'm not sure what I want to do with him. Ooh, that looks a little nice. All right, we'll click continue now that we've finished that. We'll give him a name and just call him, um, we'll call him Rednez. Oh, we're just coming up with a name, right? See if it's taken. If it's not taken, we'll be able to continue. And then this will launch us into the world. Now here you get to choose if you want to choose a different world at this point. One of the things you might be looking for is what's going to give you the best ping for your region. Go there is generally speaking going to be the best thing. But also understand that a lot of these regions may have queues associated with them, so that'll be something you want to pay attention to. If something has, if the population is high or something, you don't want to deal with queues. That's something to pay attention to. We're going to continue on to here. And we're going to enter into this world. Now, this is where the true new user experience takes place. You've created your character, you've selected an archetype, you've gone through your initial selection of abilities, you've set the appearance of your character, you've determined what it is that you want to do, and from there, you're going to load in to the starting location, which is going to vary per person. We're going to go ahead and skip that because I don't want to spoil any of the story for all of you who are looking, aka there's, chip stuff. From here, you're going to learn the basics of the command. Block. Now notice it has me doing a sword right away. That's just to show you how the abilities work. This is a very generic tutorial. Dodge out of the way. It's just teaching you how to do your basic attacks, how to dodge, how to parry, all those different things. And from here, you will then go forth and defeat some characters. Now, this is all part of the new player experience. So again, you're learning how to play the game at this point. And it's showing us all these different combat tips, target lock, and all this other stuff. It's going to give us a boss to fight. This is all part of learning how the game is played. We're going to get through this here in a second, and we're going to go to the actual starting experience, the actual new player experience. Gasp for air. Swim over here to the shore. And now we've entered the world of Aeternum. We got a bag right away. This is your satchel, and this is going to be where you get your initial gear set that goes along with the archetype selection that you chose at the beginning of the game. So in this case, I chose fire and ice, so we're going to go ahead and equip these two weapons. It's going to equip each one of them, one in your primary slot, one in your secondary slot. Now that they've been equipped, you can switch between them. So in this case, we have the fire staff and the ice gauntlet. This allows us to do fire spells and ice spells. And then from here, I don't believe we can actually, let's check here really quick. I mean, we technically have the life staff and the ice, or the fire staff and ice gauntlet, but we haven't earned any points yet. But this is where I really wanted to showcase. Once you get into the actual game, these are all of the weapon combinations in the game that you can take without any restrictions. As long as you have a weapon, you can equip that weapon and start earning points in that. You can always have two weapons of any type equipped. You also have stats, which you can choose to spec into. These help define your damage as well as give you additional hit points and things of that nature. And it is free to respec up till, I believe, level 60. Which means you can freely mix and match based on, oh, I found a new weapon that I want to try. I don't want to use the staff anymore. I want to use a rapier. I don't want to use the rapier anymore. I want to use a sword and shield. Lots of ways to play around with the different things. So from here, it's got us entering into these ancient ruins. We can go through here really quick. Now we have ahead of us a target. We need to defeat him. Alright, this is my ice. We can also switch in mid-combat and use my fire. Okay, notice I got Fire Staff 2 as well as Ice Gauntlet Mastery 2. Something that's important for new players to understand is that you earn XP for your weapon types by using those weapons in combat. So if you only use one weapon type on a boss or on any sort of NPC that you're fighting, you're only going to earn weapon XP in that one weapon. So it's always a good idea when you're trying to level up in the early stages to try to switch in the middle of combat to make sure that you at least get a couple of attacks in on each of the weapon types so that you're earning XP towards both weapons. As you get deeper into things, you may decide to specialize a little bit more in one than the other and maybe level one all the way up before you finish the other one. That's entirely applicable. quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. But once you've done that, you can go over here to the, you'll notice that we earned a point in Fire Staff. We get to choose where we put our point at this point. And what you're looking for initially is to pick an ability so that you have a slotted ability above and beyond just the normal base attack that you had. So this one creates a jet of flame. There's also this one which creates a fireball. I like the idea of a fireball, so we're going to choose fireball. And that's going to assign that right here. So now we have fireball on the L1 slot. And if you'll notice that while we have the fire staff equipped, we now have this fireball ability, which we can blow things up with. We have a staff here, a chest to pick up, ruins ahead of us. We've got some hit point potions that we can equip. And we can run on down through here. Notice there's an enemy down here. I want to go ahead and use my ice a little bit, and then we're going to switch over and do the fireball. Like that. Pretty cool stuff, right? Alright, Ice Gauntlet level 2. And we're going to go ahead and assign the points to that as well, and take something in the Ice Gauntlet line. In this case, I like the idea of an Ice Storm. And now you'll notice that we have a couple of different abilities. We have the Ice Storm for the Ice Gauntlet and the Fireball. Alright, target lock, of course. Hit L1. Now that's a nice AoE. Switch, Fireball to the face. Finish it off like so. So now we're easily able to switch between our two abilities, our two weapon types at any given time. We can earn XP in both of our different weapons. We have two different abilities which have two different cooldowns. Both of those are AoEs. And you now get into the actual New World Aeternum experience beyond the character creation and the initial tutorial. And this is where you get into the true new player experience, where you go down off this and you end up on the beach. And from there, you will begin your journey throughout the world of New World Aeternum as you figure out what's going on with the island and beyond. But there's obviously corruption in here that we have to deal with. And down in here, a big bad boss that we're going to fight. Which is, of course, how you end every good tutorial. With a big old boss battle. So we're going to hit him with our different abilities. And then we're just going to run around here and try not to let him get too close. Now we do have hit point. Oh, get out of the red. Telegraphing is a big thing in this game. So if you see somebody about to... we can hit him with the fireball. Okay. Big thing is to pay attention to the red stuff on the ground if they're going to cast something at you. Oh! Ah! Now, if I remember correctly, this might be scripted, and he might be meant to get your butt kicked here. I can't remember. Yeah, it's scripted. So, you'll go through this. You'll get to the end of this. And you will end up... out of the tutorial. And on the beach with all the other players. And from here, the true journey begins. Because now you'll start getting quests. And this is where, if you've ever played a live service game like this before, you're going to be playing alongside other players. But you don't have to play with other people. It's just an online persistent game where there's other people playing at the same time. But the best part about this game is that if you're like me and you play solo, you don't have to play with other people if you want to. If you don't want to, you just play the game and group up if you want to. But otherwise, just solo. And from here, we have a huge, huge map to explore. Lots of things to see and do. There's a couple hundred hours of questing ahead of you, and lots of options for customization of your character and the various cosmetics and where do you put your points and did you find any additional weapons that you want to put points into, and more importantly, do you want to master every single trade skill in the game? That's an important thing. So, hopefully for those of you who are new players, you have a little bit more information on what the new player experience looks like, and understand that the archetypes, while they might be a guiding point to help you get into the game and give you some initial weapons and cosmetics and things of that nature, at the end of the day, you can pick any combination of trade skills, any combination of weapon masteries that you want in the game, and go forth and play however you see fit. If you enjoyed, don't forget to check out the other videos down in the playlist below. There's lots of game guides, reviews, discussions around New World on my channel. Plus, I play a lot of other games because this is the day job. So hopefully we'll see you in the next video or live stream. Until then, stay safe and happy gaming.